Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up. Doing a little bit of a catch up today, a little bit of clearing, a little bit of a mooch around, so let's crack on with that. So the different two types of Mizuna and the Tadzoi are mostly standing up, a couple of sulkers there, but hopefully they'll catch up, which is good. Just sowed them, just planted them a couple of days ago. The same as I did over here with the broccoli rabe, or what the Italians call the rapini. And this is the 45-day crop, not the usual standard 60-day crop. So apparently, according to dates, that's got until the 20th of this month before I'm harvesting. Whoop-de-doo. All the cabbage seeds that are sown in here are not showing yet, but it's a different story over in this bed. I sowed a variety of stuff in here. We can see we've got germination on a lot of the stuff over here, which is grand. This is great, and this is because the soil is still warm. See evidence there of a mole underneath. We do have moles down here, but I don't worry about them too much. And if we quickly walk off into the tunnel, these were the individual module sown trays, and you can see these are all up. This is literally, I think it's somewhere between 3 and 4 days that I sowed these, which is, you know, fantastic. And some more stuff here, again 3 to 4 days. So that's all coming on absolutely fantastic. And just planted some cabbage yesterday to go with the cauliflower in the corner. I'm not sure if I showed those on camera. Certainly the cabbage I haven't, but that's another little bit in there. But what I'm going to do today, what I need to do is, I took this courgette out yesterday because this was magic. It looked very jungly. Took the whole plant out, and I need to get rid of these peppers now. These are done. We've had a good flush of fruit off them. We've had a second flush, and some of those are still on the plant. I think you can just see 1 or 2 underneath there. So that's the second flush. Yeah, and over there, a little bit of red. So they've done very well. And what has surprised me is I put this one here over near to the door just to see how it would do, because the door behind me is open all the time I'm here, even if the second door isn't. But mostly that second door is. But that's done incredibly well. Still got flowers on, and now, even now, these flowers are now turning into fruits. But I think it's done. I'm wearing a fleece today, as I wore one yesterday. There is a certainly an autumnal nip in the air. So yeah, it's upon us. Now at the back of the plot, one of the flower beds is doing quite well. The spots of colour and coming along. Oh gosh, look at this dahlia here. Isn't that fantastic? Anyway, I brought you out here because we're going to go into the new tunnel. And I've been doing a bit of clearing in here. You can see all that corn is down. Just taking that down. I'll show you the harvest in a minute. I'm just at the point of clearing up in here. I'm going to start digging over in here, digging soil out. And as there's a nip in the air, even though these aubergines are growing, I think I'm going to take these down. We'll see how I feel in a minute. But I want to get as much out as possible now, get it dug over, get things moving on in here. The reason I took the corn down is because we've got all these Crimson Crush tomatoes here. They're all blight resistant, and we've got great crops on them. And these are all grown from side shoots from the main plants that are now long since gone from the main polytunnel. And they're just starting to ripen. And thankfully, having moved that corn means the sun can now get at them and finish ripening, do the job, because they're better ripened on the actual vine as opposed to in your kitchen at home or in a cupboard. But there's a lot of fruit there to come off yet. So yeah, I'll sort these out, get them tidied a bit better. They'll stay here for another 3 to 4 weeks, hopefully. and I'll dig the rest of the tunnel over. These melons are not doing so bad. They went in late, and again they were just a trial to see how this tunnel did. But you can see we have got melons. These are growing away fairly nicely. There's another one over here somewhere. Yeah, just here. So that tells me what I needed to know about this tunnel. All the planting in here was an experiment this season, because the tunnel plastic only went on mid-June. Planted it straight away just to see what it would do, because the main sun comes over. If you follow the length of the main tunnel there, that's where it rises in the east. So this tunnel here only gets sun from around 10:30 in the morning. So I wasn't sure how things would do, hence the test planting, and it's come up trumps. Very pleased. So there's a lot of work to do in here in the winter, and we'll detail all that in upcoming videos. But for now, I just want to get cleared up, tidied up in here, and start ripping things out. And in the little tunnel, I did have a big courgette plant here. That's now gone. Now I've got a collection of nettles, but that's good. They'll get taken out separately and put in the nettle feed bucket. Will make feed for me that I can use at the start of next year. It makes a nice nitrogen feed, that. And cleared out all these melons. There was 2 plants in here, literally covering all this bed. There was a lot of flower on it, but they weren't producing a fruit, so they've come out. And again, some more nettles at the end for the nettle tea bucket. Some empty potato pots, and there's more plants here to go at. I've even got some tomatoes growing over there. So yeah, that's where we're up to in here. So again, it's more of a clean out job for the next couple of days. Just outside the small tunnel, I've got the area where I grew my potatoes this year, and these buckets that have had the foliage chopped off are my Kennebec potatoes, an American variety. Lovely and nutty, brilliant for cooking with. We love them. And over the back here are the Sarpomera forest, and I am just going to leave them as they are for now. Could cut the flowers off, but I've got so much other stuff to do, and yeah, we'll leave them. And these 2 beds are going to become quite important to me. I've got a lovely idea coming up for these. There'll be more of that coming up in the next couple of months, but you really want to watch this space for them. This is, I think, fantastic. But anyway, I'm teasing you, aren't I? Teasing you with soil. Anyway, now with the plants gone, it's just a matter now of just taking these bits of wire mesh off these line pins. And if you struggle to find these line pins, there is a link underneath, an Amazon affiliate link, yes, but you might be able to find them closer to home at a better price, so do look around. But these, I wouldn't be without these. I've got loads of them, and I need loads more. I'll probably order some more myself, actually, while I think about it. But they're just a handy way just to quickly get some barriers up. So I just need to now clear this bit of extra weed out, and then we can crack on. Now, if you can, I would recommend you buy one of these. This is a 5-prong cultivator, or a 5-tine cultivator, whatever you want to call it. It's got the 5 tines coming off there, and they've got a kind of a bullet shaped end. I'm just going to try and show you that so you can see. And as these go through the soil, it mashes up any lumps for you, and it rips up the soil at the same time. It's an incredible tool, it really is. Now you can see them a bit clearer now. And I've also found that these 3 middle bits, once it's turned over, are brilliant for smashing up big lumps that you pull up using this tool. But oftentimes, like in here in this tunnel, I've dug this over so many times now that I don't really need to dig it deep that often. Quite often all I need to do is run this across the top of the soil. And I say get the 5-tine one, because Grandad had one of these as a kid, and excuse me, and we used it, and then life moved on. Granddad passed away, and I don't know whatever happened to it, and in later life I bought a 3-pronged one, and it was made of much weaker steel, and I found using it the same way that I used to use this, I very quickly bent the tines all out of shape. It was taking twice as much effort to break the soil up because there was only 3 tines, and although I struggled on for it for about 5 or 6 years, I eventually found one of these at a car boot sale, I think, and I haven't looked back since. I lost it in a house move and recently bought another one 5 or 6 years ago, I think. So, and now I've got 2 of these. I've got one for up at home. But these are fantastic. Do buy the proper ones. They are old. You will find them if you look for them. And I know a particular famous worldwide internet auction site has got 2 of them for sale right now. I've just checked on my phone a couple of minutes ago. There always seems to be some on sale. So have a look for those. And you won't look back, and I'll show you now exactly what they do so that you can get a better gauge of them. I say leave the 3-time ones alone and get a 5-time one. It's worth waiting a year to get a proper one than get an inferior one and become disillusioned with it, because these really rip up soil. So this area here was where the peppers and courgette were, and quite often, you know, I've dug this polytunnel over dozens of times now by fork or spade or whatever, and I now find that this claw, that's what I've nicknamed it, the claw, will now go through the surface of this soil and to a good depth, just simply roughing it up, breaking up any lumps that are around, and I can bash down with those middle tines any lumps just to knock them down, and I can very quickly turn this soil over so it's in a good state, ready for replanting. It's nice and loose, so if and when weed growth reappears, they're easily pulled out, and also water drains well in here. And for the sake of a couple of seconds with this, that's now ready to move on and be planted. So it's a fantastic tool. With a fork it would have taken you 10 minutes, so 30 seconds a minute with this, job done, move on. And whilst we're on the subject of tools, this is my hoe, and it's actually a swoe, an SWOE. The great thing about this is it's got a cutting edge there for when you're moving it forward, it's got a cutting edge here for when you're drawing it back, and a cutting edge on the side to go sideways, which means you can hoe easier in between crops. So if you've got a row of onions, you can get in between and hoe off weeds without having to bend down and physically dig and pull them out. So it also, as you're hoeing, you're moving forward, you're cutting, and as you're drawing it back ready for the next one, it's also cutting on that. So hoeing with this hoe is only half the effort it is with a traditional sort of Dutch hoe. Now, everyone's got the favourites. There are other hoes out there that other gardeners use and have spoken about on their channels, but this is my favourite that I found over the years, and I think it was Alan Titchmarsh who drew my attention to this, and I went and bought one, as you do, and I've loved it ever since. I still got a Dutch hoe, but I use that for something else. But yeah, get yourself a swoe. Again, there's a link underneath in the Amazon affiliate links underneath, but do have a look around your local B&Qs and that sort of place. You might find it cheaper than you would do with Amazon, but there's a link underneath for your convenience if you want to see it, or if you want to go and actually buy one. There we go, it's a swoe. So there we go, I quickly hoed this bed off, all this bare soil, with the swoe, then I ran through it with the claw, and then I've just very quickly raked it over, and it's now ready for planting or sowing seeds. Another couple of strokes with the hoe and I would get it down to a nice fine tilt, and I could sow seeds in these all day long. So all that has taken me about 10 minutes. If you were doing it with a fork or a fork and a spade, you'd be looking at a good half hour or so. So there we go. I'm not afraid of hard work, but I am a fan of not wasting effort if you can, and especially time. Time is crucial to me. Hard work I'm not afraid of, but There we go, right tools for the job and get it done. So I've managed to do a little bit of tidying up work in here, tied some of these tomatoes in, cleared out a bit of debris from here from the sweet corn, and I've started digging in the corner. So work is underway here. The rest of the clearing I can get done in the morning, and then I can start thinking about lifting this frame to tighten this plastic, and then after that all the other things follow on from that, all the optional extras that I wanted. But for now, for this video, that's it everyone. Look after yourselves, please stay safe. I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra now.